Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Amo and I'm joined by my dad, Panesar.
Hello.
And today we're talking about veganism. So I've been vegan for just under 2 months now, and let me take you viewers back to New Year's Eve 2019. On the stroke of midnight, I decided to make the choice to change from omnivore to completely vegan, which Dad's happy about, as you can see from his t-shirt.
Very happy, very happy.
Dad's the perfect person for this video because he is a vegan activist. He does work for Anonymous of the Voiceless. He does the Cubes of Truth. Dad, do you want to tell the viewers about what you do?
Yeah, so I've been vegan for almost 3 years now. And for the last year or so, I have been doing some animal liberation activism with Anonymous for the Voiceless. So if you're out and about in the city centre,
Of Birmingham.
Of Birmingham indeed, or lots of other city centres. There's lots of Cube of Truth chapters. You'll see us holding screens of animal slaughter, abuse, exploitation footage, and we engage members of the public in conversations and hoping that they'll take some steps towards veganism. So I must say, with Amo, once he commits himself to something, he'll give it his all. So I'm not completely surprised that you found the transition to be smooth, because you do your research and you follow various vegan bodybuilders, and I think you built yourself up even before New Year's Eve to know exactly what you were going to do, what you were going to eat, how you were going to train, and so I think it went as well as we could have hoped.
Well, speaking of New Year's Eve, so I actually went vegan on the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve leading into 2020. So I threw a bit of a house party on New Year's Eve, so I went from drinking honey Jack Daniels before midnight to only Di Serrano after midnight. So I made the complete switch from the stroke of midnight, basically, and never looked back. So but it was, like I've said, it's been really easy for, maybe because I did the research beforehand, but it's just been a smooth transition, and I have no regrets of going vegan. My big concerns before I went vegan was losing muscle mass and my gains, and that's been the concern of a lot of people. But you know, I think I started a new regiment, and I was on the process of beginning a cut, and I feel like I've not lost any lean muscle tissue whatsoever. So.
And don't forget, I was in the same position. I was a vegetarian for 25 years, and when my daughter went vegan, and she hit me between the eyes with the truth about the milk industry and the eggs industry. So just for the viewers' entertainment, she turned around when I was about to pour some cow's milk onto my cornflakes, and she said, "You do realise you're drinking rape juice?" "What do you mean rape juice?" And then when I actually understood the process of making milk, and also around eggs, where she said, "Why are you eating a hen's period? Would you eat my period? Would you eat mum's period?"
Alright, hold on. This is about video, not to preach. This is
sorry, I got a little bit carried away, but before I digress,
I knew this was going to happen. You come in with
it's in my blood.
Your Johnny Big Bollocks t-shirt, and we're preaching to the crowd. But anyway, what we're going to do is this is not a video that we're going to preach at you. This is going to be a video on how to transition easily. So if you do decide to make the choice of going vegan for whatever reason, be it animal welfare or environmental factors, it's going to be a seamless process for you. So let's stick to that.
Okay.
The gung-ho activist.
Sorry. The point I was going to make was, when I went from vegetarianism to veganism, I thought, where am I going to get my protein?
And that's one way.
Because I used to have 2-3 eggs a day, cow's milk, cheese, etc. And I thought, I'm going to die without my protein.
Let's get into the points.
Points.
So point number one that I'm going to say as a big tip if you do make the transition to veganism is track every single thing that you eat, because how the hell, it's like flying a plane with zero vision. Like, how do you know how to direct the plane if you have no view of what you're intaking? Because a lot of people make the transition to going vegan and then just eat things that they know are vegan in the wrong amount of quantities and end up either losing weight or gaining a lot of weight. So the best thing to do you not agree? Or I've seen videos of people online where they've felt like they've not been able to eat enough as a vegan, so they go off the track that way, or they carb up like a motherfucker and they gain a bunch of weight and they've got their protein intakes and losing muscle, and they carb up and gain a bunch of body fat. So you want to avoid both of those scenarios basically.
Are we talking about those annoying, I used to be vegan but I'm no longer?
Those ones, yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, let's get into that. So, track your calories. So, there's brilliant apps. MyFitnessPal and Chronometer are the best two I think to use. At least in the initial period, just to ensure that you're getting the same amount of calories that you were beforehand. If you've never tracked your calories before, this might be a good time for you to just have a little reset and see how much calories you actually need to maintain your body weight. And then if you want to look to bulk up or lose a bit of weight, you can then adjust your calories accordingly. And the apps are great for that. They can give you guesstimations of what your calories are needed for you to maintain your weight, and you can make the adjustments if you want to lose a certain amount of poundage or gain an amount of poundage. But these apps are great. I think you should definitely use them. And yeah, that's basically it. So just track your calories basically and track everything for the first, I'd say the first month, and then you can sort of guesstimate there and then. But I still, as a fitness fanatic, choose to track my calories every single day. So
yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think that's the mistake people make when going vegan. They don't have enough calories.
Agree.
So I think if you get your, on average 2,000 calories a day, you couldn't get a protein deficiency even if you tried.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Really
even
true.
Before I became vegan and sort of hammered the protein into you guys.
Yeah.
Now, Dad's tracking his macros religiously. So it's, even before that though, you're still getting your gram per kilo body weight protein without me coming in and influencing your diet now. So, you're not gonna die basically. So protein's not an issue, for sure. But let's get on to protein now specifically. So basically, first tip was track your calories overall, so you're making sure that you're not going to lose or gain a hell amount of weight basically. Now protein. So a lot of people that have complaints about going vegan is that, where am I going to get my protein from? It's actually really, really easy. The transition was very simple to make. Instead of the meat sources, my meat alternatives come in the form of tofu and tempeh. Those are my two big sort of food protein sources. I also have vegan protein powder, a little bit of peanut butter, only a moderate amount because of the high calories and the high fat. And then it is a case of your legumes, so your beans and your lentils and things like that. I choose chickpeas because chickpeas digest the best for me. But there are a plethora of different options out there for protein. But the main three, like I said, for me, tofu, tempeh, vegan protein powder, you'll be absolutely sorted.
Hey, so. Don't forget, as Indians, lentils.
I mean, you have your dal. King of the coconuts over here. Not that, but it's all good.
And also, you've got a lot of. I know they're processed products, but things like pea protein sausages. What else do we have? Burgers. I know they're processed, but still decent amount of protein.
Yeah, there's some, like on Sundays, I've tried to allow myself to have a bit more fun these days. So I'll still basically have my calories that I need for the day, but via more AK fun stuff basically. So the things I would normally eat, like the burgers and your green cuisine sausages and things like that. So I found that a few items that we've got in our freezer, namely the green cuisine sausages and the burger, they're mainly made out of soya, so it's predominantly protein, very macro friendly, which I'll probably show some footage as we're talking now. So yeah, you'll be absolutely fine for protein basically.
Absolutely.
One thing I was going to say is that a lot of vegan protein powders taste like absolute shit, and that's what a lot of people say this. A lot of the main complaints in the fitness industry is that vegan protein powder tastes like garbage compared to the whey.
What, like hemp or something?
To be fair, Dad, most vegan protein powders taste like dirt, and it's hard to make them taste good. But there's one exception to the rule. Like, I've tried bulk powders, My Protein, I've tried a lot of various protein powders, but the one that stood out for me is one by Revolution Foods, particularly the premium blend. Obviously, we're not sponsored, I've got like 15 subs, but it's I really rate this protein powder because it's got probiotics within the powder itself, so it's so easily digestible, and the flavour that I go for is chocolate vanilla, or vanilla chocolate, how they say it, but it tastes amazing. It tastes genuinely like as good as the whey proteins that I've had in the past, so yeah, protein.
I mean, I had that as well, and it's pretty much a mug of water, 1 scoop of protein. You don't even have to shake it or anything. You just mix it up, and it's pretty quick and easy to drink.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Very, very just down it within you get your 21 gram protein shot within a few seconds. So can't complain really, can you? Third thing I was going to say is supplementation. So another complaint that we hear about with transitioning to veganism is certain deficiencies you may have. The first of which being vitamin B12, which is a big one that we hear about a lot. And I don't see why this is a big complaint, Dad, to be fair, because like it's just, you can get it in your whole food sources, but if that's too much of a ball ache for you, just have a pill. Just have a simple supplement once a day that will cover your B12 sources.
Well, here's the thing. If you're an omnivore, carnivore, whatever, you're still taking supplements because the animals, all their feed is supplemented with antibiotics, vitamins to make sure that they can survive in those disease-ridden conditions. And they're actually injected with supplements as well. So. And the reason is because we live in such a sanitized world. We don't have the dirt off the vegetables. Everything's so clean and sanitized because B12 comes from bacteria. So everybody needs to take a B12 supplement. So you don't have to eat the animals to get your B12. Just have a supplement directly.
I had a theory the other day that when obviously pharma companies supply the feed for animals, so they supply the feed to animals, we then eat the animals, so we're getting the hormones from the meat and all the other shit they're pumping in.
Yep.
Is that in fact they're making us ill and then giving the pharma companies the reason to make the medicines they do to then pump to us?
Totally.
I mean, it's a big conspiracy theory. I mentioned this to a doctor friend of mine the other day. She's like, "Are you fucking serious?"
It's true.
You honestly believe that could be believable or even achievable for the higher ups, the 1% of the world.
That's what they've been doing to us.
Man, I don't know, man. It makes sense in my mind.
They can't make any money out of healthy people. They need people to be sick so that they can produce lots of drugs to give to the people. But it's only 80% of all the pharmaceutical production goes into the animals because there's 70 billion land animals that get slaughtered a year. And 20% goes to the sick humans who are getting sick from eating animals.
Something seems a bit fishy here, pardon the pun. So, anyway, back on supplementation. So, B12, just have a bloody tablet. Yeah. It's not the biggest.
You can have a spray, you can just spray it directly into your mouth.
A patch as well, if you want to do a patch, whatever you want. But I find so I take a bunch of supplements, start of the day, end of the day, block them into 2 stacks. You'll be fine. So I'll take my vitamin B12 in the morning because it's helps with my alertness. The next one is DHA. So it's a particular strain of omega-3s that you're not going to get from whole food sources. You can actually get from whole food sources, like you can get from chia seeds, flax seeds, but in the quantities that you need, might not be enough for you. So if you are erring on the side of caution, basically, just have an omega-3 tablet or 2 a day.
Yeah, I mean, I take supplements really as belt and braces, really, because the soil is so depleted of minerals that I think supplements are a necessary evil. So it's a bit belt and braces, but I'd rather be, on the side of caution than have some sort of deficiency. So I think everybody should be supplementing no matter what diet you're on.
And because of erring on the side of caution anyway, I would suggest having a whole food multivitamin.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I mean,
with minerals.
You can get all your minerals that you need through a whole food plant-based diet, but it is a complete ball ache, I'm not going to lie. And why would you not want to have all your bases covered regardless, just in case? Because you never know 100% of what you're eating, even though if you try your best, you're never going to know to the minutiae, the micronutrient itself. So have a whole food multivitamin just to be on the safe side, and you can't overdose on multivitamins, can you? Especially on B12, you can't overdose on B12.
No, because your body will just reject what it doesn't need.
So you can't overdose, so just, err on the side of caution, basically.
So cut out the middleman and stop filtering your nutrients through animals. Just go directly to the source of plants. Cool. That's where everything comes from.
Indeedy. So, last thing I want to say is do not go whole food plant-based straight away. So, just to give you a sort of a timeline of my veganism journey. So, New Year's Eve hit. Next day, for the next week actually after that, I just pretty much winged it. So I'm having vegan protein powder for the last year and a half, 2 years regardless, because it digests better than whey. So I was already having my vegan protein powder. So my diet consisted of a lot of, I think I did have tofu, vegan protein powder, and just beans, bread, rice, just the normal sort of stuff. So I winged it for the first week and it all went well. But then I decided to enlist the help of a vegan bodybuilder to make sure I was as a new because it's a new diet, I just wanted to make sure that I was like hitting the mark on everything. And so I got a diet plan after speaking bodybuilder. I'm cutting, so he recommended going whole food plant-based, and he said there might be an adjustment period, and fuck me, there was. Like there was, I think my body just wasn't ready for the amount of fiber that was in a whole food plant-based diet. It bloated me to shit, basically. I just felt like, I felt 6 months pregnant. It was horrible, just like the amount of bloat that you get. So what you need to do is to not go that amount of whole food plant-based straight away. Slowly transition into your diet, the more fibrous foods, basically. So, no? Yes?
Yeah, I was going to say, some people can transition straight away.
I mean, after the first week of going vegan, my opinion in my stupid head was, fuck this is easy. I'll go whole food plant-based, be fucking hardcore vegan, I'll show dad. And then it just went, I think I did it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, man. I've reverted to basically...
He was not happy.
I reverted to, I did a hybrid basically. I made a hybrid diet of the bodybuilder diet and the diet I was doing before, and now I'm at a much more happy medium and I feel much better. Maybe I'll go whole food plant-based eventually, but I'm a much happier version of myself now, so, and my cutting's going really well, so why change for the sake of going completely whole food when there's these sources for me?
But don't forget, in your heavy meat-eating days, your body wouldn't have been getting much fibre. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't have been functioning properly, because we need fibre for our the food to move properly through our intestinal tract, because we've got a long tract, because we are all herbivores. So we need fibre to actually make our body work properly.
But if you have it in overload like I do.
But if your body's being neglected of fibre and suddenly you kind of dump a truckload in.
My poops are great though. So swings and roundabouts. But anyway, that's kind of my insight. So just, I wouldn't go whole food plant-based if you've been a meat eater for, your entire life. I think just slowly transition to the whole food if you want to go down the route. But having been on my little hybrid diet for the past, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? 3 weeks. I feel great on this diet, so do you even need to go whole food plant-based? Life's certainly less fun. So,
I mean, have your fun days. I mean, there's so many great vegan products out there. I mean, everyone. I think...
everyone's getting on the bandwagon now.
The great majority of new products launched in Veganuary were vegan products from Subway, KFC, Greggs, you name it, and in supermarkets, so they're in abundance. So I think
shit, one more thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
People complain about tofu tasting like rubber and tempeh also tasting like feet, basically.
Yeah.
So what I found with veganism is that it's not... Because luckily I'm not really fussed about what I eat, because I'm a fitness person, so I just get it down with me. As long as it's doing what it's supposed to do to make me hit my fitness goals, I'm happy. But if you are the kind of person that really is a foodie and cares about how their food tastes, then there are a bunch of videos to show you how to make your tofu or your tempeh taste like meat. And remember when Ryan's been on the channel before, so I was with Ryan recently for a bro day. We spent the day gaming and stuff, and then Ryan fancied a chippy, so we went to the fish and chip shop. I went along for I've not been to a fish and chip shop since I turned vegan up until that point, so I went for the smell. And the smell was great. I'm not
the grease, the oil,
and
the
then,
fat.
Yeah, and then I saw Ryan's fish, and he saw me eyeing it up, and he's like, "Do you want some?" I was like, "No, I'm good." Because when I saw the flesh, I didn't want the flesh, but it's the smell and the seasonings that you actually really crave. So if you can make your tofu and tempeh taste like the meat, or taste like a version of the meat that you previously liked, you're onto a winner. So it's not difficult to do that at all. There's a really simple, easy, quick, lazy-ass vegan recipes for you to follow to make sure that your tofu tastes like chicken, for example. Or there's even fish recipes now, which is crazy. So, or pulled pork ones as well. There's loads of different ones to do.
Yeah.
So
And don't forget, what people actually crave for are the herbs and spices that season the meat or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So KFC wouldn't be KFC without 10 magic ingredients or whatever.
But the vegan KFC burger, I had it I think 2 weeks ago. Man, tastes just like KFC. It's crazy. So if you haven't tried that, I recommend giving that a shot, because you're not missing out. I think once you have a burger, because when you go out for a burger, you want that burger to taste like a burger and satiate the burger desire that you have. The KFC burger tastes exactly like it's just got all the right seasonings, the KFC seasonings, the breadcrumbs, all that sort of good stuff that you want from a KFC. The fact that it's made out of plants shouldn't be an issue.
Well, you got the Rebel Whopper at Burger King. You've got the Impossible Burger. I mean, there's a whole ton really, and you know, it's all about the herbs and the seasoning and the sauces. That's what people crave for.
Yeah. Whether
it's a veggie patty or a meat patty, because you wouldn't be able to eat a slab of meat raw, like a true carnivore. So it's the herbs and spices and the cooking that does it. At one point I wanted to mention, a lot of people get a little bit worried about carbs.
Oh man, okay, yeah.
What would you say about carbs?
This is a good question. So since I was a bit carb phobic prior to going vegan, and since transitioning, I've had to have a lot more carbs in my diet. Man, honestly, my performance at the gym, my energy levels, I feel so much better for having more carbohydrates in my diet. I've realised now that when it comes to my fitness goals, as long as I'm hitting my calorie goal and my protein goal for the day, the carbs and fats can kind of just fall into place where they sit, basically, depending on what I'm eating in that day. And I feel great, I feel good, I feel strong, feel energized. So it's being vegan or transitioning to a vegan diet has made me less afraid of carbohydrates, which is a welcome change for me. So
carbs are great. Potatoes, pasta, rice. Who doesn't love that? It's very comforting.
It's very true.
And we need it for our fuel.
And your body.
The other thing I've been very impressed with, Anna, is when we go to the gym together, and I obviously have my vegan t-shirts to, try and sort of spark interest and encourage people to come over and say, hey, that's a great t-shirt, and then we can have a vegan outreach conversation. But
I take over now.
But Anno's a real good gym activist, and he'll give the gym guys, because they say exactly the same. Oh, I'm worried about my protein, but if I go vegan, I'm going to be getting too many carbs and I'm going to get fatty or whatever.
All that sort of stuff.
And Anna's got all the answers from a technical point of view, and it's very impressive how you've handled their objections with logic and reason, and I don't think they've really got a comeback.
A lot have said they'd try it out, at least for a short period of time. So yeah, it's just making that first step. I think now they've seen someone who's doing it, and like they've seen my because I started my cut in January, and I lost. I know a lot of this was water, but like half a stone in January, and it's leveled off a bit then. So I'm cutting at a slower pace instead.
And you wanted to lose it.
I wanted to lose the weight.
Yeah.
So I think. Obviously, I'm losing a smaller amount as time has gone on now, but I did want to lose the weight, and now they've seen the transition that I've made from where I was beforehand to. It's been quite a quick change. I feel like I've got really quite lean.
Oh, you've leaned up, and I've tremendously.
I've not lost any muscle mass. I don't think so. I think because obviously at the gym you see the same people, you have the same you got your gym crew in the morning, have the conversations and all that, have a nice bit of banter while you're training, and then they've seen the change in me. So now they've seen that, they are less apprehensive to giving it a shot, because they've seen not just someone on YouTube but someone they know showing proof in the pudding. So.
And you can answer all the nitty-gritty questions.
Yeah.
What kind of questions did you get from them?
What we've discussed already, protein and carbs.
Those are the main things, aren't they?
And I don't have too many carbs because then I become a fat cunt. And then I've told them now that you won't. Look at me. Having 260 grams of carbs a day on a cup. So.
And I think also most of the gym guys, they've seen the film Game Changers.
Oh, that's been a big one, yeah.
And that's been a massive, massive boost for the vegan movement.
So if you haven't seen that, do give it a watch. But should we end it there?
Okay, yeah.
Cool. So until next time, stay vegan from your head to tomatoes.